Hey there, this is the One Boom, and this return to YouTube is going to be pretty unsanctimonious. Yeah, I'm back. I'm making a commentary about something I'm thinking about, because that's what this channel has been about and will remain about. I have some new styles of editing and stuff I want to try out throughout the launch of Modern Warfare 3 and the rest of this year, but I decided that to go easy on myself and to go easy on you guys, easing you guys back into the world of nonsense, I'm just, gonna talk, and there's gonna be gameplay, so strap in, it's boring. Modern Warfare 3's beta was interesting for me. I didn't get to play as much as I normally would with the beta, but I feel like I got the gist of it. It is so interesting and yet so boring to talk about. Let me get one of my opinions out of the way real fast, just so you guys know where I'm coming from. I am excited for this game. I think that having my favorite roster of FPS maps, the OG MW2 2009 maps, having a working proper perk system with essentially a brand new wildcard / basic training system in the form of gear is really cool, and I just love how many weapons we're gonna have, and I love Gunsmith. It's gonna be really great on paper. So I'm actually excited for this game. I'm gonna admit it's because I'm a COD fanboy. These are things I like about COD, and here they are in a game that I can buy and play and whatever. So I don't really have a lot of hot takes. If you guys are new to the channel or somehow have watched every single video of mine, you should know I'm a fanboy, and I like this game because I'm a fanboy. I don't think nostalgia is manipulating me. I don't think anything is nefarious here. I don't think any of it's a scam, and the game is not a $70 DLC to Modern Warfare 2. So I don't know. It's just a lot of good things. It's sort of a perfect storm for me personally. It's not about you, it's not about objective quality here, it's really about me personally. So now that you know that frame of reference, and you know that I'm excited and that I'm a stupid little fangirl that shouldn't be listened to, let's continue. Put yourself in the shoes of Sledgehammer Games. You are in charge of making the next COD, and it's pretty daunting, right? COD is so much of the same old formula, and also simultaneously is entirely different every year. The previous entry had so much scrutiny towards movement, time to kill, pacing, and Infinity Ward didn't do much about it, didn't really listen to its fan base, didn't really listen to the feedback that was being thrown at them consistently, and hell, even repeated some of the same mistakes from their previous entry in Modern Warfare 2019. So now you have to, design the next game, the direct sequel to the previous one, so it'd be probably best to accommodate the players that were left feeling so unheard over the last 12 months. What do? You could make animations faster, action snappier. You could lower headshot multipliers, add stacking multipliers to headshots, so you have to land consecutive headshots to get proper multipliers. You could reduce the downsides of attachments, reasonable changes. There's lots of small things you could do. You could add red dots back to the minimap, you could add a proper ghost perk and dead silence. You could do a lot of the things that people were asking Infinity Ward to do all the way back in 2019. You could implement those and you'd be probably right on your way to making a damn near perfect Call of Duty game, especially when you combine what I just described with the beautiful remasters of the OG MW2 maps, which I believe is one of the best complete FPS map rosters in any AAA FPS game. But no, you're Sledgehammer, so we're going to overcorrect. We're going to make movement lightning fast. We're going to make juke and jiving part of the meta, part of the marketing of the game. We're going to then raise the time to kill on average. We're going to bring it more in line with Cold War's time to kill, take it away from the 100 millisecond range, bump it up to 300 millisecond range, while trying to maintain the look and feel and tone of the previous Modern Warfare titles. Now when you fire your gun, you will show up on the minimap if it is unsuppressed, and the ghost perk does not hide you permanently, it only hides you when you're moving, and move you can. Strafing, sliding, slide canceling, tack sprinting around, you're gonna be fast. You're going to be much quicker than you were in MW2. Penalties will be removed from attachments, the game will feel snappier. You're gonna be mantling 6-foot high boxes in a quarter of a millisecond. It's gonna feel inhuman how fast you move. And it's gonna be inhuman how people start trying to juke and jive away from your bullets, which now do essentially less effective damage. So what happens when you fire an unsuppressed gun, you show up on the minimap in Call of Duty? Obviously people are going to move towards your red dot or aim in that direction. What happens in Call of Duty when you fight multiple opponents? You're likely going to lose because the time to kill is so fast, and if there's 2 guns on you, how will you get out of it? Well, that's going to be increased in difficulty if the average time to kill is increased. 2 people versus you is going to be a much harder fight than it usually is. And while that lightning fast time to kill is a core component of Call of Duty's identity, the ability to walk into a room with 4 enemies and potentially take out 2 or 3 of them with 1 magazine is something that makes COD feel like COD. And people want to ignore that because they don't like getting melted, but melted be you will. The difference between getting a kill in 100 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds is kind of night and day. The difference between dying in 300 milliseconds and 100 milliseconds perceptually is not that big of a deal, because something happening to you is always going to feel faster than something you're doing to other people. Deep breath. Sledgehammer has essentially made a game where everyone is very slippery. They're harder to kill, they're harder to track down and shoot, and it's much easier for enemies to pinpoint where you are and surround you. On top of this, in order to keep the pacing of the gameplay up on these larger maps, which were not really designed in terms of pacing, they were designed in terms of variety, Infinity Ward is on record of saying that one of the core components of their map design philosophy was to make these sort of non-objectives, which are buildings, height advantages, power positions, and locations that are important to hold down, choke points and the such. And having larger, more complicated maps with a lot of variety meant that that felt more natural and more occurring. You trade your sort of balanced, competitive feel for something a little bit more flowy and natural. You can't really go in the direction of variety and intrigue and maintain perfect balance and predictability, so there are trade-offs there that are good and bad that we could get into in a different video. Either way, Infinity Ward decided that their maps needed to be locations that you had reasons to be in. Structures and locations that you want to hold and want to maintain. This is the design philosophy behind COD 4, MW2, MW3, Call of Duty Ghosts, MW 2019, not so much Infinite Warfare because they went with the Black Ops 3 map design where everything is very flat and symmetrical. There's nothing you really need on the map, there's no choke point worth carrying on the map, everything's sort of mirrored on each side, so Infinite Warfare is sort of out of the discussion. OG MW2 maps were not designed to be competitive, they weren't designed to be predictable, they were designed to be novel and interesting. So how is that going to work with modern players that want faster, more well-paced, balanced, competitive gameplay? Well, make the spawns random and circular. That'll work. I mean, these maps were designed to spawn trap and to hold power positions and to maintain control over the environment. That is the point of these maps, that's how they were designed. And yet, Sledgehammer's opted for a rotational spawn system that is so chaotic and so random feeling that it turns even large, asymmetrical maps like Estate into a clusterfuck. And you might say, hey, well, it avoids spawn trapping. Yeah, but it also avoids the ability for me and my team to control the map and be rewarded for it. I would much rather manipulate and control spawns and the map in general than have it be random so that nobody feels like they're being punished or spawn trapped. I played the old CODs. I know being spawn trapped sucks. Suck it up. Because the alternative is that it's random and you are never able to control it, which means you're less rewarded for good map awareness and teamwork. This is a massive overcorrection. Instead of just having confidence in how the old games played, and instead of providing reasonable tweaks to animations and actions and movement, we have something that is a massive overcorrection in the wrong direction. The gameplay loop, the gameplay pacing felt random, and enemies felt inconsistent to fight, enemies felt very slippery. And for me, as somebody who with inconsistent performance and occasionally can absolutely go off in a lobby, skill-based matchmaking has me pretty scared this year. Yeah, I'm scared of having my ankles broken. I do not want to get good. Getting good at Call of Duty is not my personality. I enjoy Call of Duty for different reasons other than breaking cameras and being a general nuisance. I don't think the best course of action was to speed up players and make them harder to kill, and make people easier to detect, all at once while putting a circular rotational spawn system onto maps that were designed for a linear, predictable spawn trappier system, which, you know, for lack of a better term, that's what I'll use. And there's so much nuance here, like how are you going to balance a longer time to kill and lower headshot multipliers on larger maps where people can head glitch? Like, how is that gonna work? Like if I see somebody up in the top building of Derail or across the roof on Favela, and I'm wanting to shoot them and take them out before they snipe me or before they, start, firing an LMG into me. Like in Modern Warfare 2 or in Call of Duty Ghosts where a lot of these maps were remade, or even in MW 2019, I could laser that person and take them out very quickly because the time to kill was so snappy and fast. That speed was by design so that you weren't just overwhelmed by people abusing long-range weapons across large, interesting maps. Like, a lot of you guys haven't played Derail in a long time if you think that 150 health and a larger average time to kill isn't going to make that map play like hell. We saw this in the larger Black Ops Cold War maps where players were essentially forced into using DMRs and LMGs because why would I want to land 6 shots with an AR when I could, 2 to 3 tap people with a DMR or a sniper rifle? You might like that longer time to kill in medium to close range engagements with SMGs and ARs with the faster movement and everything. That might feel really skill-based and cool, but there's a lot more to the OG MW2 maps than that. That's why I think it's really disingenuous to let players play Rust during the beta. How is Wasteland and Derail and Overpass gonna play with this longer time to kill? I'm a little concerned about that, and I think we all should be. It's not a huge deal. I think the game will still be fun and enjoyable to play, and I'm excited to play it. I even had fun in Black Ops Cold War, and I think it has that game had a lot less going for it than this game does. But I can't help but see all these stacking functions as an overcorrection. They could have updated the game after the beta to speed things up and change the way things flow, without making the game from the get-go so different with so many massive sweeping changes from the previous title. Modern Warfare 2 was pretty close to damn good. I just think it needed more gooder maps, better perk system, and snappier, more consistent movement, and maybe lower headshot multipliers to make the game feel less melty. You can't just put red dots back on the minimap. You can't just add dead silence or increase the time to kill while adding these large OG MW2 maps with the wrong spawn system, with the incorrect spawn system for the design of the maps. An incompatible spawn system for the maps is a better way to put that. And you can't just expect that to work. It's a lot of buzzwords that people want to hear, but I think if you really analyze it, they could have done this better. It could have been more tactically administered, and I really hate that it just feels like they panicked and overcorrected for marketing. Watching Call of Duty use sweaty, YYing, mouse flicking players and gameplay for marketing, it's weird. And then when you get into skill-based matchmaking or engagement optimized matchmaking topics with these new mechanics, I think we're gonna have a very sweaty, messy feeling COD in terms of moment-to-moment gameplay. It shows a lack of faith in the formula and a weird allegiance to a very small subsection of the Call of Duty player base. And I'm concerned that throughout the life cycle of the game, if they notice that players are too fast and are, ducking and diving and slide canceling too quickly, and that maybe it's a little bit hard to manage, they'll refuse to change it because they don't want the backlash from the people that want to break ankles and post cool clips of their gameplay to TikTok. And I don't know, I feel like it's the wrong move. I look forward to the game. Like I said, I'm a huge fangirl for a lot of what they're doing, but I'm gonna need to see some serious mechanical tuning, not just reductions and increases, some meticulous tuning, something that feels thought out and not like a massive, abrasive overcorrection. Anyway, hopefully you guys understood my point. I have not recorded a commentary in many months, so if you enjoyed this video, leave a like rating. I will be trying some new styles of editing and stuff soon, but I wanted to just get this commentary out for tonight, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.